Good morning. Today is Wednesday, March 12th, and this is Devotions from St. Paul Evangelical Lutheran Church, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We're going to take a passage today from Luke's Gospel. And this passage comes just before Passover and the Last Supper, but Jesus has been teaching in Jerusalem, and particularly in the temple, on many different subjects. And he kind of wraps up with this passage and then tells us something about relationship. So this is the end of the 21st chapter of Luke's Gospel. Truly I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all things have taken place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. Be on guard so that your hearts are not weighed down with dissipation and drunkenness and the worries of this life, and that day does not catch you unexpectedly like a trap. For it will come upon all who live on the face of the earth. Be alert at all times, praying that you may have the strength to escape all these things that will take place and to stand before the Son of Man. Every day he was teaching in the temple, and at night he would go out and spend the night on the Mount of Olives, as it was called. And all the people would get up early in the morning to listen to him in the temple. Jesus had a lot of specific teachings during this time, but this kind of wraps it up. This kind of says, everything I have told you will come to pass. He does say this generation will not leave until it's come to pass, but heaven and earth will go away, but his word will not go away. It's a little bit confusing. So I'm going to give you my opinions, and you're going to have to think about it on your own and see what it means to you. Jesus' words were both challenging and comforting. He would challenge the authorities on their interpretation of the scriptures and how it was all based on rules. And it was comforting because he told the people that he was there to take care of them. Now, when he says this generation will pass away, heaven and earth will pass away, I don't think he means that group of people that was living at that time, but all the things we have come to know about this world. But then the part, but my words will not pass away. Jesus tells us to prayerfully consider everything that he has said. He has told us to take great comfort in the efforts that he's making on our behalf, because that's the only reason he came, was to be here on our behalf. I truly believe that this is a passage that tells us that the most important thing in our lives is our relationship with Jesus. And he says, prayerfully consider all these things, and specifically, do not be weighed down by the cares of this life. Troubles will come, you know it will. We're going to have to worry about the things that go on day to day that we have to deal with. But at the end of the day, we need to rely on Jesus. And Jesus modeled this because it says again in this passage, he taught all day long in the temple, and then at night he went to the Mount of Olives. Jesus spent time alone with God on the Mount of Olives. That becomes very specific after the Last Supper when he goes there with his disciples and prays for the cup to pass from him. But I suspect that when he went every day of this week that he's in Jerusalem, that's what he went for. He knew he wanted to spend time with God. He knew he needed time to refresh his strength, to get his personality back together so that the next day he could go back and teach again. And the people responded. Every morning they came out to listen to him in the temple. We're getting near the end of the week. This passage could easily have been written about the Wednesday before the Thursday, right? Before the day that Jesus had the Last Supper and was betrayed. But Jesus tells us, and I believe he tells us in no uncertain terms, relationship is the key. Get to know Jesus, get to listen to Jesus, believe in Jesus, have faith in Jesus. And as you're doing that, all the things that go on in this world that we deal with will go into the background. They're not that important because at the end of the day, Jesus is taking care of what we most need to have taken care of. And that is our lives after heaven and earth have passed away. Read this section of Luke's Gospel. I hope that you find it uplifting and encouraging, and it helps to deepen your relationship with Jesus, because I think that is what it's all about. Thank you.